Hello boxing fans, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Every now and then the sport of boxing produces superstars and legends, fighters that are a force to be reckoned with. All we must do is look nowhere else other than the man named Naoya Inoue. Today we will take a deep dive into how Inoue got to where he is now, overcoming one's trials and tribulations, and on his fast track to getting legendary status in the sport we all love. Without further delay, let's get into it. Naoya Inoue, also known as the Monster, is a Japanese native boxer who was born on April 10, 1983, before becoming the stellar professional he is today. Inoue had a very decorated amateur career which would help him gain the much-needed experience before he would eventually dip his toes in the big leagues. Inoue won the Japanese Interscholastic Athletic Meeting in the Japanese Junior National Championships in 2009. Just a year later, he took the bronze medal in the Asian Youth Championships in Tehran, Iran, and won the Japanese Junior Selection Tournament. Not getting the gold didn't discourage the young talented fighter, because in July 2011 he took the gold medal in the 21st President's Cup. This shows his ability to always want to improve and be as successful as possible. He ended his amateur career with a brilliant record of 75-6 and was now ready for the pros. The technical assassin Inoue is a highly gifted fighter, but that's not to say he hasn't worked to get where he is today. The Japanese star uses his incredible athleticism where he puts pressure on his opponent, mainly with his jab and combination punching, to create openings for his well-known and signature left hook to the body. An example of this is when he faced Nonito Donaire in a rematch. The first bout between the two warriors led to Inoue getting caught with some brutal blows, leading to a broken nose and fractured orbital bone. Like a true samurai, Inoue pulled off the win even through partial blindness and excruciating pain. The second bout was without a question a blowout. Making quick work of his former adversary, Naoya the Monster Inoue hit Nonito with a body-rocking shot to the liver, cooking that boy's insides like beef stew. Bon appetit, fool. Everything for Inoue usually comes from the incredible use of his accurate and varied jab. For most who watch Inoue, this is probably the most underappreciated part of his amazing skill set. Inoue likes to use his jab to feel out his opponent like a snake flicking his tongue to sense his prey. It helps apply pressure, but also to help maintain distance and respect from his opponent. Inoue will tend to use light, quick, soft jabs, 2-3 at a time. This very much helps him set up a more decisive, powerful jab, which in turn helps Inoue fear a straight right hook or uppercut on his opponent's head or high guard. The Japanese boxing star is brilliant at doing this, but he is even better at changing the variation of each combination he throws, mastering the art of changing levels, which he uses to his advantage, because he's able to explode in and out of range, giving him another level of unpredictability. Striking like a Japanese pit viper, the power from his punches works like a deadly venom. Inoue made his professional debut at the tender age of 19. Of his own volition, he signed an agreement with Hideyuki Ohashi to never fight against easy opponents. On 2nd October 2012, he fought against Filipino national champion Crimson Omayao and won his debut via a 4th-round knockout. Most fighters usually take on taxi drivers or go-cannon, low-level adversaries hardly worth their weight in the ring for their first few fights so they can build confidence in their records in the pro environment. But he isn't called the Monster for nothing. In his first fight, he stepped in there with someone who also had an excellent amateur background, which poses a huge risk, but one that would seem to pay off. Just 4 fights later, Inoue was fighting for a world championship against Adrian Hernandez for the light flyweight WBC title. They moved him very quickly. The talent was undeniable, and all parties decided he was ready to take on this challenge. He was able to assert his dominance from the opening bell, letting off vicious combinations, walking his opponent down. The venom from his power had Hernandez contemplating whether to keep fighting or go back home to suckle on his mother's breast like a pathetic little wimp. He showed he was levels above his opponent in all aspects and would eventually stop him with a thudding right hand in the 6th round. Naoya Inoue was now a world champion, but he wouldn't stop chasing greatness there, as in the same year, He would go on to unify the division, adding the WBO title to his arsenal by stopping Omar Narvaez in just the second round in devastating fashion. The monster would continue to slay all competition, running through the division like Naruto through the forest and collecting belts, beating the likes of Ricardo Rodriguez, Jamie McDonnell, and Emmanuel Rodriguez. He would then face a legend in his own right, the Filipino Flash Nonito Donaire. This would prove to be Inoue's toughest fight and a Fight of the Year contender in 2019. From the opening bell, they both decided they were going to fight and landed telling blows on each other. Both proved they had good chins and were great fighters. Inoue was tipped to steamroll his opponent, but Nonito rolled back the years and gave him the fight of his life. Inoue would prove victorious and come away as the winner of the World Boxing Super Series, becoming the unified bantamweight champ of the world. Naoya would then go on to silence his critics as he rematched Nonito and absolutely starched him. I bet his wife was looking at him real funny after that defeat. Inoue would then go on to collect all the belts in the bantamweight division, smashing through Paul Butler, beating him for the whole fight. Stopping him in the 11th, he would now become an undisputed champion, going down in the history books forever. Inoue was now at the top of the food chain and was looking for other big dogs to play with. Stephen Fulton was just that. He turned cool boy into a slushy. Sip, sip. Pussy ass lil ho. It was a super bantamweight with the two best in the division for the unified champion. A lot of fans and boxing experts had the fight close, but what would play out would be mind-blowing to all. Fulton was bringing his titles to Tokyo to take on the Japanese superstar, something like Goku Ultra Instinct, the newest and the biggest threat in the weight class in his home country. Neither man had met defeat before. Inoue now with a flawless 25-0 record. 22 of those wins by way of knockout, and Fulton sporting a 21-0 with 8 KOs ledger going in. Inoue, for all his acclaim, remains a hungry fighter, and he began the contest eagerly. Unfazed by Fulton initially claiming the center of the ring, Inoue patted down the champion's jabs. Then Inoue, sliding and thudding jabs of his own, hit Fulton's head and body, knocking that ugly-ass Dallas shag off the back of his neck. His confidence only grew, and Inoue could build combinations on those shots. He quickly covered the distance between them, catching up to Fulton when the American tried to back away. Inoue opened with rapid-fire fisticuffs in the second round, disrupting and making his power felt at 122 pounds. To broadcast his self-belief, Inoue even tapped his chin, showboating for just a moment. I bet that made Fulton want to shit himself. He sunk power into his right cross, a thudding blow that Fulton blocked on his gloves when he could. But too often for the champion, Inoue was getting that shot through. Inoue would then begin to stalk Fulton by this point and had let off some telling combinations. By the 8th round, he would set up a lovely shot to the end by stabbing Fulton to the body first, landing the straight right hand to stun his opponent. Once he saw his prey wounded, he pounced on him with a winging left hook to drop him, leaving him laid out on the canvas. All credit to Fulton pussy ass for beating the count, but it would just delay the inevitable as Inoue would corner him and let off big bombs like Nagasaki, forcing the ref to stop the fight. Inoue's hand would be raised at the end, winning the fight by a TKO stoppage in round 8. It's a reason that Inoue is getting compared to the legendary Manny Pacquiao, as it seems as if we are watching a reincarnation of Manny, causing havoc and running through the weight divisions, not only keeping their style and fluidity in the ring, but also carrying their power as they go up in weight divisions is truly astonishing to watch. Leave in the comments below if you believe Naoya Inoue can reach the level of Manny and how far you believe he can go up in weight. Pacquiao was an 8-division world champion and Inoue is currently at 4. Will he be able to catch his predecessor? Only time will tell. Well, boxing fans, we've reached the conclusion of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also turn on post notifications so you're notified when we drop another video just like this one. See you guys in the next one, and remember, it's somebody clapping your girl's cheeks while you're out here getting slapped in the back of the head by your manager for being distracted at work, trying to be a troll in the comments.